Odds are you have revenue leaks all across your organization and you probably don't know where they are. Some of them are even hidden. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 areas to look into that are going to expose where these revenue leaks can be coming from. My name is Christopher Coran, and we help organizations put client-first strategies that help them make their organization leaner, make their clients happier, and grow as an organization as a whole. The first place you could be looking at, the most common one, is customer support. Customer support usually has the most leaks because that's where, when clients have issues, they look for help from one of your representatives through a phone call, through knowledge base, through any kind of support pages that you have. And that's a big point of friction for clients because if they don't get the answer they're looking for, if you're selling a low price B2C product, they tend to close their account pretty fast. If you're selling any B2B products, issues tend to stack up over time and they tend to look for other alternatives, so they tend to leave. In the end, customer support is an area that churn exists quite strongly in, and having your process nailed down there will save you a lot of money over time. So you have customer support, you have marketing, sales, employee training. Now, for marketing, when you're communicating something to a prospect, whether you're doing any kind of outreach or paid ads or Google SEO or anything of the sorts, there's usually a discrepancy and a difference between what they're looking for, what they came into the business for, the things that they saw on your about page, could be some of the awards, recognitions you have on your homepage, anything along those lines. There's a mismatch between what they're seeing on the outside and what they're dealing with when it hits your sales team and your marketing team. When there's a handoff going to the sales team, that's where you tend to have issues arise, and then they have some expectations that tend to fall off. You'll typically find this as a lower close rate, a higher dispute rate. People that come in from Google Ads have a higher rate of issues with your organization. Then you want to look at the marketing process and make sure that there's some congruency, that there's some alignment between these two areas in your organization. Now, the next thing is still in line with the sales part. You want to make sure your sales process and whatever they're communicating, that everything is communicated based on where they came in from, that's congruent with the product and service that they need, with the problems that they have. And you want to make sure that is aligned throughout, because there are a lot of sales teams that tend to go off script. Then you're going to have lots of leaks in your sales process where they're going to overpromise, underdeliver. They're going to promise things that probably don't exist. And there's going to be some client satisfaction issues that are going to arise from that. Sales, you want to make sure that the SOP that they follow and the process they follow, the cadence and the structure of what they're communicating, the assets that they're using, they're all in line with what's communicated on the marketing side. This also goes into the next part, which is the employee training. The bigger the organization, the worse employee training tends to be, but employee training is a huge revenue leak because they are not matching up with the expectations that you have, with what the clients could have. Then you're going to have some issues with an employee that came in with a certain set of expectations that don't match their job description, that also probably don't match what they can deliver to the clients in the end. This affects everything from entry-level positions all the way up to senior managers. Now, one thing you can implement that will solve all these issues by at least 20% across the entire board is something that we call a knowledge base. You might have one in certain areas of your organization, but I'm going to show you why you want to have one for every division of your organization, including your leadership team. So the first thing you want to look at is, what is a knowledge base? A knowledge base is essentially where you have all of your documents, your Word documents, your PowerPoint presentations, your Excel sheets, your financial data, your sales assets, in one centralized folder or whatever software system you want to use. There's a ton of them out there. You want to put all your data into a knowledge base. This helps you and your leadership team. If you have any questions on employee performances, you have some kind of question on finances, some parts of maybe even legal, you could put anything in here, and this will help you. Instead of having to bug them, you could just check everything in one centralized place and have this be displayed as a dashboard. You could have this be displayed as a chat system. You just type in your query and it will pull back whatever you need. And this is what it will display back to you. This structure would technically be for your high up leadership executive team. but you can segment them based on the divisions. You don't want to have everything in there. You want to have it segmented for what that division would need. Same thing would go for sales. If you have your sales team, you tend to have your sales assets, maybe some legal for compliance, maybe some customer support in there as well if they have some questions of the product. And same thing for marketing. Same thing for your leadership team, same thing for your managers. For example, like sales, this would fall from your director and below typically. And anything over director, they tend to have access to the entire repository of information. Now, what are the benefits to doing this? The first part is actually that you have faster sales cycles. Now, how's that improve sales cycles? Your sales team will have all the information they need on any call because they can just open a chat tool with the knowledge base and maybe even have a dashboard. How does this help reduce churn and help your customer support? It helps your customer support team have all the information they'll ever need from a wide array of questions that clients could be asking, from billing all the way to legal and everything in between. Now, this helps because almost all your clients will have answers to their questions from your customer support team. The first call and the first interaction, whether they're calling or messaging, their questions will be answered instantly, which means they'll be happier to stick with you because they're always having their questions solved. Now, the next step is you can have a client-facing knowledge base. For example, you could segment it however you like. This helps you save money across the board, and you can add this into layers as well. And this also helps reduce churn, which is client retention. They don't have to wait in a queue. They have a question, they can search it, get the answer instantly. If you don't have this in your business, you need to put this in ASAP. You will save a lot of money and you will have a lot of clients be happier with you, and you will increase your lifetime value of each client. Now, a few other things you can consider. This is not a foolproof system. It does take some effort in keeping up with it. If your information is outdated, you don't have anybody updating your processes. So each division, each person, you might have individuals with a bunch of files that most people don't even know exist. There's no ownership. So you don't have somebody who actually owns the process that manages your sales team. It can be your director, but sometimes that's not in their job description, or that's not something that whoever you hired is actually doing at this time. And the benefits can be gigantic. So if you were to reduce your churn rate by a few percentage points a year on your top line, then you will see that this is worth the effort and the ongoing maintenance that you're going to need to be doing, which once it's set in place, it's really cheap to keep maintaining afterwards. But this at least helps you structure your organization where it's always up to date. There's no mismatch of information. This helps expose areas that are not in line with what your leadership team wants or needs. If you have a managing partner, a VP of sales, a VP of marketing, that they're seeing stuff that is fired or not correct, then they could look to their director, and the director could look to their manager, and then you could see how you can lean up your organization and keep everything running smoothly. And it unlocks a huge level of growth because it makes everything so much easier. You don't have to have so many fires in every department. At least you have visibility, especially if you have a dashboard as well. You can get visibility across the entire organization, what's up to date and what's not. And then you can make decisions based on that. Now, if you're a software business making over 2 million per year, you're going to benefit from blocking all these churn points. We have a free web class for you to sign up and look into. It's on demand and it's 46 minutes. You can plug in all the leaks in your business by going through the web class, and it's completely for free. Go ahead and check out, just our goodwill to you. And if you have any questions, you can email our support team and we will gladly help you out. Thanks. And as always, take care.